Hi, good morning. I prefer to start the class now because it's already 5 minutes past 9. Because I need to have a hard stop at 10 o'clock. Uh, so today I'll start with the basics of data and data definition only. And because before even I start the actual discussion of the storages, I want to discuss about OLTP and OLAP. That is the idea. So I'll be discussing some part of the interview that I have attended on Saturday, that is day before yesterday. So I'll try to give some overview for the next 10 minutes. The interview started with very basic questions, and questions are like, uh, what is the three formats of data that you have? That even before that, the question started with what is data warehouse? What is data lake? This was a question. This was very primary questions in any interview, and then the linked questions will follow, like how many formats of data you have, structured, semi-structured, unstructured. That they expect us to tell. Why do you require data lake when data warehouse is already there? This is another data warehousing solution. Why do you really require it? The part of the answer lies in the fact that data lake storage is hosted in the cloud, Azure cloud. That is one fact that we have to agree. Even that answer will be partial answer. But another answer which is very important is that, are you having any disturbance from my side? I see a lot of disturbance coming in here. Just we'll pause for a moment.
No, you are clear, Pratap. I can hear.
Okay. So I was discussing with you. Some of you are very skeptic. I really don't mean everyone. Some of you are asking like, what is semi-structured? Why is structured? What is unstructured? Why are you talking about these topics? Really, this is important because data warehouse, traditional data warehouse is a OLAP. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what is OLTP and OLAP. Data warehouse is a historical repository. See, whatever I speak is very critical. You can make a lot of story out of it. So, and if you with that story, if you are confident in the interview, which means that you have already hijacked the interview. If the interviewer is in such feeling that you have already hijacked the interview with the kind of elaborate knowledge that you have, which will be obvious in the way you speak, the confidence that spells, you'll obviously see. You may not be grammatically correct, but in the sense of technological understanding, if you keep bringing those words which are relevant, maybe say I don't generally people, all of the interview attendees, we don't expect them to be grammatically perfect and sound communication skills and all that, but if you have that kind of intensity wherein you bring the relevant keywords, and you are you are swift and prompt in doing so, in trying to answer what the interviewer is asking, then he will obviously know that you know something. Then he may even ask you, god forbid, if the interviewer is from your native mother tongue or something like that, or if he asks you, are you comfortable in Hindi or any other Indian language, you can speak in that. Then the only thing that he wants is that he want to know whether you know everything or not. So even that is possible. No, people are looking for the, you see, it's a talent crunch. It's not about communication. These are the skills which could be polished in a week or 10 days, communication skills. But technological understanding, definitely it take months and months. So yeah. That idea. So then I have to follow on saying that OLTP, OLAP. I said, can you understand? Can you tell me what is OLAP, and why do we really require a data lake when we are having data warehouse? Why do you really require? So I said, okay, yeah. This is because you see, cloud is one part, partial answer, that you need a data lake, and the other part is that it can store three varieties of data, that is structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. See, with the invent of various other databases, you know, lot of databases like MySQL, that SQL, this SQL, lot of SQLs were coming. These are like column storages. These are essentially in semi-structured format. And JSON is another revolutionary format, because all the configurations which used to be done in XML are now being done in JSON and YAML, YAML. This is semi-structured format. You have data coming in from a real-time systems. Like if you think of IoT, the data which comes from IoT systems, if you have to store it as a historical repository, like if a plant is operating and all the data about operation of a very big plant are coming and sitting in a particular database, at the end of the day you want to analyze what is the condition, operational condition of this such big plant, say thermal power plant or nuclear power plant. You want to analyze at the end of the day, and if you have to collect the data, that data is in semi-structured format, obviously. And for any business intelligence application that you have to develop, you have to read the data from semi-structured data. The storage of semi-structured data in a repository like data warehouse, traditional data warehouse, you have to convert data from semi-structured to structured format. And if you have to store the raw data as a traditional data warehouse will not definitely support, you have to go with something like data lake, which is on cloud. So you have multiple benefits here, which is that of cloud, as well as the other one, which is that it can host all the three kinds of data. So these are the things which you will have to discover so that you will sound confident. So in my interview, interviewer was questioning another kind of situation, tricky situation. You have events. You would have heard about events. If you in SQL, these events are something which are different. If there is any DML, data modification language, okay, you're trying to do any DML activities like insert, update, or delete, and if there is some referential integrity, we call something as referential integrity in SQL. To maintain that referential integrity, someone who knows SQL, they will be able to understand it. Otherwise you will have to spend at least 1 week to 10 days time completely going through the SQL, and just not mechanically doing things. You have to keep, keep bringing that again in your mind. Why this kind of setup is there, why this kind of design is there, what is the benefits of having this kind of design in a particular database. So that is something that which you need to have. But I think the Ralph Kimball that I have reference that I have given you, that will help you to 70 to 80% of your extent, to the extent of that, the knowledge requirement that is expected of a data engineering interview. So I think that will help you. But I will give you some kind of high level overview from where you can build the puzzle. You can keep joining these pieces of puzzle and make a big picture. That is possible if you have a high level understanding of what is OLTP and what is OLAP. So events in SQL is something which will come from the DML activities. It will help us to maintain the referential integrity. These are the high level answers which I have given. Whereas events in Azure Data Factory will help you to trigger a pipeline. That will help you to trigger a pipeline kind of scheduling. SSIS, you will use scheduler. There are various ways of scheduling SSIS package. So there we call as scheduling, here we call as events for the purpose of triggering pipeline. If you have this kind of clarity and establish this, you know that the word event in the context of SQL is entirely different from the word event in the context of Azure Data Factory. That's what the interviewer will all be looking for. The kind of questions that he asked, if I keep elaborately answering all the questions, each question will take at least 10 to 15 minutes. But the interviewer stopped me within 20 seconds, because that I know it. And then he will make sure that yes, you are done with this area of knowledge. And then he don't waste his time in testing you more in that area of knowledge. Then the kind of confidence that he gets, yes, he will skip that and say, coming to the next part. That's how he will take you. And if the interview is happening for complete, say if it is scheduled for 1 hour, If it is more than 1 hour, you can assume that yes, you are through the interview. That is one other another hint that you will get it. And he will try to ask as many questions if you keep on answering, and that's a very good sign. Then he may stop having further rounds of interview. Okay, I think this will help you a lot, because this I really wanted to share these things, because you can construct a lot of things, like you read and practice something. Another thing that you have to do is like when you are meditating. Like meditating means thinking about the same thing again and again. So it need not be dumb meditation. Simply say, no, we are not doing some devotional meditation or something like that. We are not into devotion practice. We are into engineering practice. And some techniques and technologies that we learned, if you are able to make a big picture out of it, when we are free, when we are able to think and make some meaningful sense out of it, then I think that's more than devotional meditation or something like that. Because that kind of pondering over the knowledge will help you to instantaneously frame the answer in the interview, because you don't know what kind of question will come. And if you have to hit hit the question with a nail on the forehead, to the point, then interview will get sense that yes, you know it. That's the kind of thing you have to hit it. You know, you take it on the frontal collision. Just collide it on the face of it. Collide with the question and give very key point. That no there. So you have to say them. If something that he is sounding different, he may ask you, event in ADF is same as event in SQL. Most recently, I was talking with you about public cloud and private cloud and hybrid cloud. And say, what is your take on hybrid cloud? Very high level question, not at a pointed question or objective kind of question where you can have one word answer or one sentence answer or yes or no kind of answer. What is your take on hybrid cloud? You know, you can talk about it for 5 to 10 minutes. I said it's a very costly affair to have a private cloud. One benefit is that you will have workforce very near to the cloud. So even if internet is failed, since the cloud is very near to your workforce, you can have uninterrupted engineering services available through private cloud. That is one benefit. Since companies like banking or some secure data companies may not rely on public cloud for the purpose of data security issues, if you have private cloud, then you will be rest assured that your data is completely secured. That's the kind of answer which I gave. Another benefit is that private cloud, because of its digital infrastructure limitations, it may not be scalable beyond a certain point. But with the kind of hybrid cloud arrangement, high connectivity fiber optic network will be made between private cloud and public cloud. So if it has to scale beyond its limitation, it can go and make use of the public cloud. That arrangement is what we call as hybrid cloud. This is the answer which I gave. And he said, yeah, okay. Going to the next question. He interrupted me. He interrupted me and said, yes. And this interview happened for the role of a data architect. And I think this is as you keep on going to the higher positions, they keep on asking questions wherein they'll be testing your knowledge more and more. So talk about primary key. Talk about primary key. Yeah, they want to know your philosophical understanding of primary key. Philosophical understanding. You should start by saying that primary key is composed of unique and not null, as well as clustered index. A primary key is very index because very important, because without that you can't have a foreign key also. If you don't have primary key and foreign key, the database is not no more relational. So if you say RDBMS and relational word is really absent, you don't have entity relationships managed in an thing. That's where your referential integrity comes in. Without that referential integrity, you can't make information out of data. This is the answer which I gave. You can be so energetic with the kind of knowledge that you keep on gathering, gaining, and meditating on the knowledge. So what I want to drive this point in this class, so that this really helps you, because I really don't know the kind of requirement that you are in. So I just wanted to start this session with that kind of thing. Okay. And yeah, SQL really helps you. They will not ask foreign key. They will not. So he has asked me later on, what do you mean by trigger? What do you mean by event? And what do you mean by trigger? Okay. A lot of things happen. How will you handle an exception in SQL? What kind of things do you use? No, there were some questions also. Some questions they will try to trouble you with some kind of null values in a join column. They will ask you to do join. How will this perform with null values? If I want to join on this column, I have duplicate values like 1 and 1 in table A and 1 and 1 in table B. These are the values in two different rows in table A as well as in table B. How will left join, right join, and different kind of joins works? What is the result which will come out of? Then I said, see, these are the tricky situations which I have never tried. Yes, this is a fact. I never tried. Even after attending interviews, I didn't try null values and duplicate values, how they will function in a kind of join situation. This will they will try to test the edge knowledge. Like this is the kind of very extreme situations in SQL. If they are looking for someone who is 7 plus or 8 plus, they expected a candidate that they would have seen the highest kind of difficult situation that they would have faced. Whether this kind of scenarios will give you a predictable answer or unpredictable answer, how will you handle this situation? Another question is deadlock. The person who is knowledgeable about database, they may say, this is a DBS job to solve the deadlocks. If it is a DBS job to solve the deadlock, to prevent the deadlock, it's a responsibility of developer being a programmer, because we program SQL language, right? Being a data engineering, we are expected, traditional data engineering are supposed to perform data engineering on database with the help of SQL. There we used to say, we build everything into transactions so that they are isolated. They are isolated means ACID, acid properties, atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Isolation is a very fact that the deadlock will not happen, because if it is not properly isolated, that's when deadlock can happen. We need to have this kind of linkage between the different keywords which are there. Otherwise, see, it's like a family of concepts, data engineering or SQL, whatever the questions that which are coming. These are a family of concepts are always related, right? A family of, just like family of people are related in some or the other way. These are the these are the things which will serve for one particular singular purpose, that is data storage, data management, and the thing. It's optimized for storing data in a secured way. Data will not be lost. You will have backups. Arrangement is there. A lot of arrangements will be there. So that's kind of thing. So this discussion has already consumed 25 minutes. Now we'll start with OLTP and OLAP. And later on, from tomorrow onwards, I'll discuss about the Azure storage services along with the practical showcasing of how we can do that. Okay. So today I'll start about OLTP and OLAP. I'll be sharing my screen. Please interrupt me and stop me if I am assuming that I have already shared the screen and I'm going through. That kind of thing is there. Please interrupt me. Yeah. And now I'll be cautious enough to share the screen. Okay.
Yeah, we can see your screen, Pratap.
Yes. Yeah. Fine. So previously, I remember that I have discussed with you the data formats, that is structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. So I can say that 5 to 10% of the questions came from my understanding of and knowledge of structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. Okay. Then they'll tell you have versioning, security. Why do you really require so many formats of data now? Can I really get information from semi-structured data? Yes, it is possible. With C sharp it is possible, with PowerShell it is possible, with Python it is possible, with Java it is possible. You can convert the data from JSON format to structured format, tabulated format. It is possible because JSON essentially, you see, it's a key value pair. This is a value, this is a data value. And what is this data all about? It is the first name of one particular person who is named as customer, the last name, address. What is the benefit of having the JSON? If you see the structure of the JSON for document here, being a semi-structured format of data, what is the benefit? Can you tell? Because this may be interview question, I'm not sure. We'll try to discover it. You make an attempt now so that you will be more explicit in trying to understand this. Hello, anyone? Hello.
So in terms of storage, if we have a key value, maybe the performance would be better. So in terms of fetching the
No. Okay. Fine. It is not really the answer, but obviously you need to have metadata for any data. Thinking that if it is data, to make some meaning out of this data, there should be some description what this data is about. This is what we call as metadata. So in a single table, if you think that first name will be present only once, right? In a structured format. But here if you say every value, you need to have first name. Okay, that is disadvantage. That is a disadvantage to take, but advantage lies here. If I have multiple data of my customer, and if I make a table only to store one data for one customer, and if a customer says I reside in 10, I am a very wealthy person, I have 10 properties, I live in all these 10 places, I don't know at which time where I live, then you can have address 4, address 2, then address 3. Address data structure you can program and keep making copies of it for the purpose of storing data. So this is flexible enough, right? Hello.
yeah, Pratap. That means for the same combination of first name and last name, you can have multiple
Yeah,
addresses
multiple addresses. That is possible here. The
within the
flexibility is there.
same within the
Yeah,
same record.
yeah. If a customer comes to you and say, you please design a system wherein I should be able to do my see because I as a customer, I say I am running a research company and I tend to collect as much information from my client as possible. Your data should be flexible enough. How will you design database? You can't design a structured database using SQL or something wherein you define everything even before the software is being used. You say this is a restriction, this is a straight jacketed kind of solution where you have to use only this. Then he said, no, I cannot work the way you are telling. You should work the way I am telling. The customer ultimately he is the one who decides, right? The requirements, business requirements. Whatever he says is sacrosanct for us. So we have to tweak the technology in some or the other way to meet his requirements. So then you should go for JSON format. You should tell him, see, go for semi-structured kind of storage. That will be more flexible. You can have multiple contact numbers also, right? Any kind of data. See, here contact is one thing. Okay. You are having an array of JSONs. The data enclosed between a flower brace open and flower brace ending is called a JSON. If that is enclosed in a square brace, that is called an array of JSONs. The JSON document is completely full of this, either a JSON or an array of JSON. With this kind of arrangement, if your customer is giving as much data, then you have to record so much information that he is giving to you. At times you don't know what data he is giving, which means that the key or the descriptive sentence about descriptive word about the data that he is giving, even that you can't know beforehand. So if you program it in this way, then you can define the key as well as value, both of it. So it is so flexible, right? You can't imagine the kind of flexibility that it is providing as a data format, right? Sorry, you can ponder over this. You internet can really help. Or
One question, Pratap.
are
So,
you able to see the notepad screen that I have shared? No.
no, no, we cannot see.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
one question
No.
I have in terms of this JSON.
Yeah.
Is
Now
it
you can see.
feasible to we can store huge data because
Yes. Yes. Yes.
for every record we are repeating that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I was not sharing. Sorry for that in the previous one discussion. You see, this is you are able to see my notepad, right? Hello.
Yes. Yes.
So the flower base opening is a main block. Within that, you can see this is the description. This is a value. See this first name. If you have a table defined, I'll open an Excel sheet. See, this is a uh, you know JSON data. If I have to store it in this way, then
We lost your screen.
yeah, I'm sharing it now. Now you see the previous JSON which I was showing. If it has to be stored in Excel format or any tabulated format, the first name will be given only once. How many ever times data that you have in this particular thing, so many times you need not have to repeat first name. Got it? There's a
Yes.
difference between tabulated thing and JSON. So in that way it is a burden, because it will be having many unnecessary repetitions of the column name, right? Hello.
Yeah. So means in the relational, we can avoid the repetitions. Means if the first
Yes.
name and last name is repeated because
Yes.
we have different
Structured
instances of the
table. Structured.
addresses.
Yes. Structured table.
So, but in relational, that repetitions we can avoid. But only thing is in JSON, we for every record we have to mention the header. Means that the column header.
So the benefit there, that it is a singular, representation of a column name. We are representing the column name at only one place. That is at the header. That is a benefit of structured data, tabulated data. Whereas here, JSON you have to repeat. There is where it is an advantage, here it is a disadvantage because it is a repeated one. But the benefit of JSON over tabulated data is its flexibility. At the time, see, this is more flexible. You can have any kind of definition of data, right? Address or any kind of thing that you want to collect. You see, you have 10 different kinds of address, then you will be able to store 10 different kinds of address. It is flexible and accommodative to any kind of data structure, right? And you can convert semi-structured to structured. That is possible using Python or C Sharp or any programming language, Java or PowerShell or anything. That way, so you have anything another. I was telling you the at the very beginning, right? There is some programming language called what, MuleSoft. MuleSoft. Real-time data in an enterprise setup will be communicated using Enterprise Service Bus (ESB). This you will be getting 10 different kinds of information, assuming in a particular situation, 10 different kinds of information in a JSON, and one particular application is interested in only one piece of data. Then you will be writing program to get that one piece of data and make use of that in the system, either input or output on the real time basis. We'll be programming that. That is what is called MuleSoft, which means that if you have to go into the MuleSoft domain, you have to know JSON completely. You should literally be performing on surgeries on JSON data on real time, which comes on real time basis. You know, you try to take this address 3 and city 3. That may be the requirement of that particular area. Manager. He may be interested. So this particular person, address 3 in this city. Then that particular area manager will be alerted saying that this person is residing in this place. He is our customer. You should be aware. In one of his BA reports, may be possible, right? So this kind of things, yes, definitely it will help you. But once you are very comfortable with this kind of things, the kind of advantages and disadvantages, then that will help you. Okay. JSON is just one of many ways of in which semi-structured data can be represented. Tomorrow you'll have YAML is there one more thing. Just like the way you have flower braces and these things, YAML will have Python kind of thing. Every tab will define its structure. Tab space YAML. Give me a moment, okay.
Hello, you're not able to hear, sir.
Yeah, sorry. I'll repeat. So JSON is one format of semi-structured data. Okay, we have YAML, which is another kind of semi-structured data format. YAML stands for yet another markup language. This is the American way of naming a particular thing. So there are so many markup languages like XML, extensible markup language, extensible. You can extend XML. It's is as much flexible as the thing that we have discussed in JSON. The disadvantage of XML is that it will be written in this way. I will share the screen now. You're able to see my notepad, right? Fine.
Yes.
Yeah. So XML, so this one, it will be represented in this way, that it will have first name, closing. So forward slash will represent it is a closing tag, opening tag and closing tag. Whatever the data is between this opening tag and closing tag is your data of interest. This is your data, actual data. This is metadata. This says, so whatever is beginning and ending, you need to have this thing. This is more verbose, right? Here it is repeated only once. That itself is a very big thing. We are telling that is a disadvantage of having JSON. Because if you have a tabulated one, the structured data format, the column name is given only once. In XML, for every piece of data, you are having the data enclosed between the column name, beginning and ending. So it is more verbose. Unnecessarily, you are having more number of repetitions of the data, of the metadata, to be precise. Someone like me may ask, what is a, please give us comparative understanding between XML and JSON. As a data engineer, you should be able to comment this one. If you give this, then that I'm satisfied. I'll say yes. I'll go to the next question. Okay. YAML is something which you have to understand. YAML. So this is XML. This is JSON. But at the outset, JSON, XML, and YAML are human understandable kind of semi-structured data formats. Means humans can read this data and make some sense out of it. There are some more semi-structured data formats which are friendly only to the machines. Okay. And one more thing is unstructured data. Unstructured data is nothing but these are the only things which human can understand. Like XML, JSON, and YAML, you can understand if you are technically conversant with the kind of data organized within that particular format. Like yeah, one particular piece of data will be enclosed within opening tag and closing tag of a particular column or of a particular metadata. Then you can understand this is XML. If it is within the flower brace opening and flower brace ending with a kind of key value pairs, key colon pair, value, key value. That way you can understand, yeah, that is JSON just by seeing at the data. And YAML, you can see YAML, you go and research on your own, because If I keep covering everything, then that the entire session will go only for that formats. And unstructured, this is very important because this is future oriented for data engineers. You should be able to see my screen now. Yeah, this unstructured data format is completely human friendly. These are like, Word documents or Excel documents, or to be more precise, perfect categorization of unstructured data is images, audio, video. These are the things, multimedia, which humans tend to enjoy, right? It's like the way you interact with the world. That's a kind of data which this formats host, unstructured data. Why this unstructured data has suddenly become so important? Because hitherto means in the past, technologies are not sufficient enough to extract the data from these unstructured data formats. Like, I'll tell you a very good example. There is a traffic junction, and there is a havaldar, one person who's standing there, poor guy. Someone has skipped the line on a red signal, and this one guy is not able to record so many 10 people. One person has jumped, and by seeing him, few other persons have jumped the line, and they were like simply crossing the junction even if there is red signal. This traffic personnel wanted to challan all these people who have skipped, but he won't be able to record all those 10 people's registration numbers in order to challan them. But if you incorporate a technology wherein at the red point your camera will be switched on and try to make a recording of that particular few minutes, that is a video which is recorded at that red signal. And you have Python. There are Python algorithms which will try to capture the number using text recognition. It will automatically capture all those registration numbers which have jumped the line when the red signal is there, which is automated, right? Automatically challan will go, a picture of that will be taken. That's the kind of technology which people were incorporating. That is also kind of solution which falls in data engineering, because this audio visual is a kind of unstructured data. This is how it is categorized. But any computer program till now is unable to extract data out of it. That is a very valuable data, right? This helps for insurers. This helps for the government to collect revenues. This helps to maintain the discipline in people. These are the three benefits at the outset that we can see. This will save the life of the citizens also. So you can think of it. Insurance companies also, it will help, because this is a risky behavior. Risky behavior has to be penalized, right? So next time when he goes and tries to purchase some insurance, then based on his violations, his insurance premium may go up. This is what will happen in USA, because I practice in insurance and I know it. For government, it will fetch revenue. It will save the lives of the citizens. They may think it is very simple one. So these are very important. So you are incorporating the technology to ensure that you are able to extract data from the unstructured data format. That is the reason suddenly unstructured data format has become so important. Till now, organizations were storing this kind of data, but they were not able to make any value out of it. But because of the advent of technologies like Python, data science, AI, and ML, we are able to extract the data using which we can make any practice for that matter, any practice, to be more refined, to be more philosophical, you know, philosophically aligned to its ideals. Any practice like, banking or insurance, think of it. You can go with cold chain logistics. You want to maintain the quality of the product in the supply chain. You will keep track of things, and you'll keep track of refrigeration and all of this. So a lot of unstructured data format will be there, which will help you to understand. Yes, see, a lot of things are there. Even the police were like, if there is one person who is missing, and they are trying to find that person. If a person has done a crime in Hyderabad and he moved to Delhi, they are incorporating this person was put in blacklist immediately after FIR was registered. and suddenly the intelligence cameras in Delhi were able to identify this blacklisted person was found in so and so area in Delhi. It will alert the regional police. They are making use of it, right? This is a kind of unstructured data which you are having. So till now you are not able to do that, but there is on real time data, no policeman will be able to do some kind of real time surveillance. But if you do image comparison as well as image capturing and comparison on real time basis, the blacklisted person will be identified and alerted to the police, right? Technology is helping you. Unstructured data. So till now, like people were able, see, data engineers were interested in structured and semi-structured. But after the advent of data science, Python and AML, unstructured data is also important because we don't know. The client may suddenly say, this is the thing. You have the cloud infrastructure, processing infrastructure, you have the algorithms, you have the programming language, you have the techniques, data science, AI and ML. Can you please serve me? These are my requirements. He may come up with such kind of requirement. Then you should be able to identify which particular domain your solution falls under. Right? Hello. Any questions now? Because from next discussion onwards, I'll go more into the cloud concepts. These are something which are very general and generic.
YAML, do you have the format how it looks like?
You can Google it, my dear. Not, I'll say, because see, I have a hard stop at 10 o'clock because that's a routine meeting
Yeah,
which I have to attend.
no problem. I'll check it.
YAML is something similar. You make sense out of it. See, if you're not able to make that, then I'll discuss in the next
Sure,
topic.
no problem. No problem.
See, you see, this delimited text CSV is one primary format. This is almost similar to the structured data format. You can see the first name. These are the column names and these are the data values. This is semi-structured also. Again, because it is comma separated values. File storage. Files will be there in JSON. Files will be there in XML. You see this. I was trying to tell you XML. This is a beginning tag. This is a closing tag of customer. The customer name. Within that customer object, we are seeing name. This is also extendable kind of data storage format. Flexible, kind of flexible. Customers. Customer. Contact details. Contact one, contact two. Contact type is phone number, home number, email. Personal number, you can have another one. Another one is BLOB. BLOB is which will be kind of accommodating ones and zeros. Very fundamental object within a computer infrastructure, computing infrastructure. Optimized file formats. These are friendly for only programs. Like you have algorithms which you are using in Hadoop or big data processing formats which you have. Avro, ORC, and Parquet. ORC is optimized row column. Avro and Parquet are some kind of semi-structured formats which program will be using. So in the process, in the pipeline where your data is being processed, the programs like Spark and Scala will be storing the data in these formats for the purpose of these are more machine friendly. Machine algorithms will be able to understand this more easily. Avro, ORC, and Parquet, which humans cannot really make some sense out of it. A kind of encrypted formats. Okay. This is relational database and non-relational database or column database, column family database. Okay, and graph databases also. Graph database, one example is that Facebook, you have connections that will be stored in the form of graph database, because that is the optimal way to store the connections, social connections. We have transactional data processing, OLTP, and then OLAP. I will discuss more about this tomorrow.